Mike, come over here and talk sports with us. It's game day. After more than a week since game one when the Eagles beat Atlanta, the Eagles are finally back in action. Our Birds taking on the Buccaneers down in Tampa Bay. Here to help us break down what to expect, Eitan Shander with 97.5, The Fanatic. What's up, my friend?
Good morning. Great to be here as always.
Yeah, it goes from weather, sports.
It all goes together. Even
in.
Beverly Hills Cop references. Mike knows everything.
You just tested him, right? You're like, how old are you? Win, first game, Falcons. Very underwhelming, though.
Yes, it was. The offense showed signs of not having a full unit out there in the preseason. This is usually what happens in the NFL. The first couple of games, teams get their feet under them. I would expect more of the same in the first half, but the Bucs are just not anywhere near Atlanta talent. The Eagles should come in here and roll the Bucs. Let's be honest. They're more talented in pretty much every position except wide receiver. And the biggest thing that they have going for them is their defensive line can get to any quarterback in the NFL. They got to Tom Brady last year in the Super Bowl. They can sure as heck get to Ryan Fitzpatrick today.
Let me talk about that. So I read some predictions this morning that says Nick Foles is going to push for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns alone. What do you think?
I think that it's difficult to put expectations on Nick Foles.
Okay.
Because Nick Foles is like a betting person's nightmare. He can come out on one day and be insanely good, and on the other day be insanely bad. There's no middle ground. You never get any middle ground with Nick Foles.
He's either really hot or he's really not.
Now, here's the beauty of the situation. In this particular case, with this particular team this year, he could be bad like he was Thursday night against the Falcons, and the team can still win. So that's why I'm saying don't focus on Nick Foles as the reason why this team will win or lose. Focus on the Eagles' defense first.
Yeah.
It's that guy until we get the kid back, and I know we don't want to talk about him because we talk about him all the time.
I know,
but until we get the kid back, it's not Nick Foles' game to win or lose. It's the defense.
Speaking of defense, Malcolm Jenkins says this week he is focused on DeSean Jackson.
Yes.
He was injured, right? Concussion and
shoulder.
They say he's going to play.
He will play.
But Malcolm says he does not want to get beat deep, so he's going to be focused on DeSean. That's probably a good concern, right?
Yeah, there's good and bad with DeSean Jackson. We saw it up close and personal here in Philadelphia. The good is that he can be a game breaker, that he can get you this big play 60, 70 yards down the field. The bad is that doesn't a lot of times correlate to a team winning. So when I hear Malcolm Jenkins' comments, I think, from a football standpoint, you want to keep him out of the end zone. But from a trash-talking standpoint, you don't want it. DeSean will run his mouth nonstop.
You saw that little
him.
dance he did there in the end zone?
People don't want to see that. Right. So Malcolm Jenkins, Ronald Darby, Jalen Mills, these guys don't want to hear DeSean Jackson as much as they don't want to see DeSean Jackson.
Right, that's true. Darren Sproles got a hammy injury, so he's not going to play?
This hurts, and it's just how much you can use him in so many different areas. He's not going to get 30 touches a game, but he's so dangerous in the passing game. He's so dangerous in the return game, and he can break something open. So he's a great change of pace when you've got a guy like Jay Ajayi who's more physical. He's needed, and he's going to be needed moving on down the year. Right now, he misses the game. It's okay, but it will hurt long term if he's not here.
Speaking of hurt, my favorite quote this week was when Alshon Jeffrey's like, "I'm not a doctor," when they kept asking him about his shoulder. I'm not a doctor.
I do feel bad for Carson and Alshon because it's just nonstop. Because these are two of the biggest players that we need on the team in order for this Eagles team to be successful.
Right.
So it's going to be a storyline nonstop.
Yeah.
Unless they bring in somebody else.
Is this going to be a good game or is it a barn burner? I mean, what are we looking at here?
I think what you saw last week was the Bucs put up 48 points on a really bad Saints defense. Don't expect the same. I would expect something where you get a 21-24 Eagles, 12-14 Bucs score. Something like that. Like I could see a 21-10 score in which the Eagles pretty much dominate the Bucs. But maybe it is a big DeSean play. That's the difference. And that's why I say DeSean gives you good and bad, which you can break something open, but it doesn't always transfer to a win. So I would look at it more like the Eagles are in control all game.
You want to watch the game with me?
Let's watch the game.
1 o'clock, we'll do it.
Can we do it?
Of course you can. You always watch the game. You have to work, right? Speaking of the NFL, let me tell you about a story that's trending right now. An NFL team's ticket policy has one mom really angry. So the Green Bay Packers require tickets for every person that enters Lambeau Field, and that includes babies. So Erica Johnson says the Packers told her if she wants to bring her 3-month-old daughter to the game, the baby has to have a ticket, despite the fact That infant cannot sit up by herself. She can't sit in a seat. According to the ticket program, the Packers are one of 7 NFL teams requiring every single person pay for a ticket who enters the stadium. So we check with the Eagles, their policy. Kids under 2 don't need a ticket, but they need to sit on someone's lap and they can't block anyone's view. So if you've got one of these big 2-year-olds, someone's like, how old's your baby? You better be careful. But isn't that crazy?
Does that happen when babies are that big? They're blocking people's views at movie
Apparently,
theaters?
the Eagles say,
events?
as long as your baby. You know, I think it's when people stand the kids up on their laps and then people can't. You know how they do. Like,
Yeah.
Furthermore, I think the baby should have to purchase its own ticket.
There you go.
On StubHub.
Earn your keep.
Put the baby to work.
Put the baby to
Might
work.
as
These
well.
babies, they got it way too spoiled out there.
Look at this guy. Who
I like how
likes
he
him?
thinks.
Crazy. I just think that's kind of an outrageous policy.
Yeah,
personally.
I don't know what you benefit from that because it's not like this is league-wide. Only 7 teams are doing this.
Right.
Now, Green Bay knows that they can sell tickets to dogs. They're so
Right.
rabid over there that anybody and anything
And
will
they'll
buy a
pay.
ticket.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. But I'll be curious to see what the other markets are. And Philadelphia, like the rest of the league, it seems like outside of the 7 teams, has it right.
Yeah,
which
2 and
is
unders.
yeah, bring your kid, bring your baby there.
Have fun.
Now I don't have children. Is that an enjoyable experience to bring
Bring
a
your kid.
2-year-old
We're
to a
gonna ask
sporting
people.
event?
Talk to us.
I can't imagine.
Talk
right?
to us on Twitter. We'll take a quick
Hire a
break.
babysitter?
That costs money.
Oh, okay. You're right.